Hey guys, it's Trey, aka Ronoth, and Tim, aka Tim from Outbreak here with our the Last Dynasty Presents episode. We're just kind of going to be talking about WoW and Tim's time playing it back in
Best I
what?
can.
Yeah, back in what 2006? You said
2005.
five. That's the last time you've
15
played it.
years ago. That's crazy.
It's crazy just to think that game's been going for 15 years.
That's the last time I played seriously. I have downloaded it in the past decade 2 to 3 times and played for like a couple hours. And then I just couldn't devote my time to it. So I didn't get very far. But
Are you telling me the game known as Virtual Crack didn't hook you?
World of Warcraft. No, it did. And that's kind of the problem is that I'd play it and I think, oh man, I'm getting some 2005 flashbacks. So I had to put it away. But yeah, that
Yeah.
that was mostly the problem is I'd play it for a few hours and I'd be like, oh, I can't go down this road again.
It's a long and windy road. Uh,
Mhm.
but before we get into that, just wanted to say this is the first time that we've gotten together representing the Last Dynasty. Tim and I have done some Nerd Outbreak stuff before. I know we have a couple more, at least one more episode from the Last Dynasty Presents. Next week we'll be getting with Tran, going over the history of the guild, when he took over, when Lixion started, and where we're at, and what his plans are for the future. Tim should be joining us again then. Tran and I will just talk. The guild is a it's a big community now, but it wasn't always. It started out extremely small with Lixion, so
Hmm.
um, WoW is huge. WoW is huge. I mean, when you played back in 2005, was there Dungeon Finder? I don't believe that came out till later, right?
That doesn't even sound familiar.
Okay. Yeah. Didn't figure it would.
Mm-mm.
What was 2005? That was that BC? Do you remember what expansion it was? A long time ago. We've gotten old since then.
I can't even remember the first thing that came out. Um, no, I can't remember.
No? Oh, that's all right. I mean, we've only got I don't know, a whole lot of expansions. We've got what? Burning Crusade,
Hmm.
Wrath of the Lich King, Cataclysm, Mists of Pandera, Warlords of Draenor, Legion, and now Battle of Azeroth. And then next month, the 23rd, Shadowlands comes out. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot to okay. Foglatch says that 2005 was vanilla. So you played back in vanilla. So yeah, a lot of things have
Yeah,
definitely
that's what I
changed.
thought. That whole year, yeah, because it technically it launched. I played the beta before it
Okay.
really launched. I actually because I was a big fan of Warcraft. I played the RTS.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so when they announced that there was going to be an RPG, and so I loved Warcraft, I loved RPGs. So I was already signed up for all the Blizzard, emails, all that stuff. And so they opened up a beta. I got to play it. When it came out, I did get a minor discount on it. But that was the bare bones. And just from beta to launch, the game had already changed so much. And then from beta, yeah, I don't even think in 2005, I don't even think there was an expansion.
Yeah, no,
I,
that would have been just the base game.
yeah. So I stopped playing in 2006, which is when the first expansion came out. So whenever that was, um, that's about when I stopped playing. It was, I could tell you, it was right around the time that South Park did their Make Love Not Warcraft episode.
Man,
So,
that's a classic episode.
yeah. It was right around then where I watched that and I thought, oh man, that's me.
Hey, we've all been there at one point. Yeah, see, I didn't start playing till Wrath of the Lich King, and there was a lot of changes just in those two expansions. I
Hmm.
mean, base was what, level 60,
Yep.
and then BC 70, and Wrath of the Lich King the whopping 80. I
Hmm.
mean, hey, everybody's back down to I think 50 now. So if that makes you feel any better.
I was nowhere close to 60 in that first year. I
No.
was passing people who were leveled up, and I didn't get how they were grinding like that. I
Um,
didn't understand. And I put a lot of time into that game. And in my first year, I was not a 60. So,
but were you playing constantly, like in South Park, enough to where somebody had to bring a portable
uh,
toilet?
I'd say for a couple weeks, possibly even the first couple months, yes. But after that, it was more like 3 times a week, if that. So,
Yeah, man, it's a very time consuming game. Tran asks, What's our opinion of Shadowlands versus when you played? I'm not sure if you've looked anything up about Shadowlands. I know from when I first played, it's going in a direction. The level squish throws me off. That's that's a big thing, man. When I started, I was already level 80. Now we're down to 50. I think Shadowlands is going to go up to 60. I feel like we're kind of going in reverse. Story wise, honestly, I could care less. After Warlords and Legion, to me the story's kind of been whatever.
mhm.
Sylvanas is she's doing the garage thing. And Tran, you're completely wrong about garage. I don't care what anybody says.
I don't know a whole lot about the new expansion. I did hear about their revamping a lot of things, but I don't know what that means. I could have learned it, but I was like, we're already so far down the path from where I started that all this is just mumbo jumbo to me. So,
To tell you the truth, I haven't looked too much up into Shadowlands since obviously we've had our daughter. I haven't had a super lot of time to play, so my
mhm,
interest has kind of been waning here and there. I'll be getting back into it, but story wise, they're just. I mean, let's be honest. The game's good. It's a good game. It makes them a lot of
mhm,
money, and they're doing anything they can to keep that money rolling in.
mhm.
They're succeeding. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
The thing with Warcraft for me, the World of Warcraft, I should say, is that I first started RPGs with like EverQuest and Morrowind when RPGs were you had to do good at math. You
Yeah, yeah.
had to really understand what to level up. So when World of Warcraft first came out, I remember the first couple days I was like, I don't this is like holding your hand. I don't get this. Like this is so I don't understand why this is appealing because I didn't have to do all the complex work that I was doing in the other games. And I did that for weeks and just thinking I don't get it. And then like several of my friends who weren't even gamers, let alone RPG gamers, were playing it. And I'm like, "Oh, now I get it."
Yeah.
Like, this is appealing to everybody, not the old RPG fans. So they really found a way to make this game that was more complex into something that the whole world, like all gamers, even people that weren't gamers before. I knew a lot of people that only started playing video games because of World of Warcraft. So that's an achievement alone that they made a game so mainstream and it was fun. A lot of times when people dumb down their genre, it becomes less fun. Fable 3, for instance.
Oh man, let's not talk about that.
So when WoW dumbed their version down, it was like this is almost perfect. Like I mean, yeah, it was addicting.
Oh yeah, compared to other RPGs, it was definitely easier to wrap your head around. There was a
Mm,
lot of hand holding, uh, and depending on who you ask, it continues to get worse about helping you. It's
mhm,
very new user friendly.
mhm,
Again, it's what I don't know, 15, yeah, 15-year-old game now. So,
mhm.
I mean, they're trying to bring in new users. Blizzard,
Yeah.
Activision, they are a business that wants your money. So they're bringing in new users, dumbing things down for the new users. But you do still have rating. You have your mythic. Uh, I think we talked before, and you said you never really got into rating.
No.
Um, it's a very big aspect of the game. That's why I used to play. I used to raid lead for the last dynasty and guilds before that, and that is where the intensity comes in. That's where the skill comes
Mhm,
in. If you're not as a healer, if you're not on your cooldowns, if you're a tank and you're not taunting the right, um, you really have to have players that know what they're doing. And realistically, if you're going into mythic raiding, it's time consuming, man. It's like a full-time job.
The reason why I didn't enjoy rating is kind of twofold, which is one, the internet was still relatively new in
Oh,
2004,
yeah.
2005. So the idea of going on the internet and finding a guild or a clan to join was foreign to me. Like, it never even dawned on me. And I didn't join with any of my friends because I like to keep my gaming and my friendships separate. So
No,
like,
I get that.
um so I wanted to join a guild, but like of total strangers, and I didn't know how to go about that. So I never really did anything that expensive. And then the other reason is because my PC couldn't handle that many people on the screen. And
Okay.
so I think I did one of 40 people, because I think that's how raids originally started out.
Yes.
Was it 40 or 6? Is it 40 now?
No, now it's 20.
Now it's 20. Okay. So if I'm
Well, I
thinking right,
think
it
you
was
can go above 20, but mythic is 20 people, so that's usually what
okay.
people shoot for.
Okay. Yeah, I remember the number was wrong when they first started. And I think it was because it was too high. And my PC couldn't handle it. The frame rate was terrible. And of course, I didn't have a gaming PC because I mean my parents bought it. They didn't know computers back then. So
Damn
when you
parents.
had too many people on when you had too many people on the screen, I just couldn't handle it. So I avoided raids, and in fact that I still do to this day. Even
Oh,
on like ESO, I still don't join with a lot of people. I know I don't go to like the player versus player areas or anything like that because I just never got into it. I don't even know
yeah,
how it works
rating
anymore.
rating can definitely be a little bit difficult. The nice part is for people like you that don't know how to find guilds is there's now a guild finder in built in game. So
Hmm.
hey, if you ever want to get back into it, you can use the guild finder. You'd be stupid because you could always come to the last dynasty. But yeah, it's back then I believe they were 40. I think it was 40 or 60, and that was unheard of back then to have that many players together doing something.
Hmm.
Now, clearly that's nothing with Fortnite and these other battle royales, having 100 people on screen
Right.
is nothing.
Yep.
Oh, excuse me, Gale, 40 man, not 60.
40. Yeah, that sounds right. That's what I thought was 40. So yeah, it was too much for my computer back then. So the lore is very immersive. The fun part for me, and yeah, so that's why I love RPGs in general. It's just lore, and that's why it bothers me. I have a lot of friends that will play World of Warcraft, any Elder Scrolls game, and they'll skip dialogue, and I'm like, What are you doing? What is this madness? What kind of what creature are you? Like, you have to like,
I mean, what dialogue are you talking though? Because I can tell you 95% of the quests, I don't read anything because they are just,
oh,
oh,
what, you
they're,
monster.
I'm a monster man. But their cutscenes, their cinematics have been fantastic. In the lore is immersive. I mean, I had a blast during what would that have been? Cataclysm with Jesus. I'm getting old. Cataclysm with Siege of Orgrimmar. Um, man, that was it. Depending on who you talk to, people hated Garrosh, people loved Garrosh. No, I'm sorry, that was Miss of Pandaria. But it was a fantastic raid in that whole story. The beginning of the expansion, you didn't play, but it was, hey, look, we brought Jack Black's pandas, Kung Fu pandas into the game. Whatever. The Shaw of creation, all that was kind of it was stuff you didn't care about. But once they brought in Garrosh and the storyline with him betraying the Horde and the Alliance, myself, I was immersed in it. That was back when we were really raiding, and
Mhm.
that raid was full of lore. Whether you paid attention to it or not, but and
I
there's
can't, I can't even imagine skipping dialogue.
Oh
Can't even
man,
imagine it.
there's so many quests in there. You run to one person, pick up 6 quests, you read the whole thing. There is no way.
Absolutely. And in fact, even in Elder Scrolls, when you find those random books and they've written stories in those books, I will read the books.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
I have no time for that. I
yeah.
I will take your word that it is fantastic,
hmm
and I believe a couple people are saying Wrath is one of the best expansions. I would agree with that. I mean, if you can't tell from the shirt I'm wearing, big fan of Lich King and Sylvanas, and that was a wonderful storyline. Everything with Arthas, everything with Sylvanas. Unfortunately, I believe they're going the wrong way about her as a character now, and I assume into Shadowlands. But there's been some really good expansions that Tim, I would say you should play, but that's just going to take way too much time. So you should just look up cutscenes.
That's one issue that I am having with getting back into it is I'm thinking like I don't know that I'm going to be able to. It's the lore thing. Like the idea that you're skipping lore, like for me to go through all these expansions again, like or to start at the end is like starting at the end of a book. And like I know that there are expansion packs that I have missed out on, all these stories I have to learn all the lore for.
Oh
And for
man.
me to skip ahead is just like I don't know if I can do it. I don't think I have it in me.
Well, let's be honest. Not only are we both parents, but we both work. So time
Right.
is not our friend. But
That's why I'm so far behind on RPGs.
yeah,
Like
it,
whenever you ask me what am I playing, I'm like nothing because if I don't have the time, I will not play an RPG. Like I have to be able to sit down and spend at least 8 hours on that day in the RPG because I really got to get immersed into it. But
no, I get it, and that's why I'm currently actually taking a break from World of Warcraft till Shadowlands comes out because it's extremely time consuming. Those that are in the guild or community know that the Last Dynasty community it is expanding. We're becoming bigger, moving on to more platforms. Tim has joined me in making some of these videos and episodes to help push the community. So it's just I spend a lot of time in the community, not on game.
mm-hmm.
It's a fantastic game though. I mean, I know people that met their spouses in game. It,
Oh yeah, I do too.
it, it's a good game for not only playing but getting to know people. Half of my really good friends I met just on WoW and raiding with them. I mean, when you raid, you designate. I think back when I was raid leading, we were doing 2 hours, 2 nights a week, and then a third night we were doing for just anybody that wanted to try to do some cleanup. So it can be
Mm-hmm.
demanding.
So the reason why I stopped playing World of Warcraft is I had, and I'm thinking off the top of my head here, it may have been a bigger number, but I had 5 friends drop out of college
Oh
because of
man.
World of Warcraft. They couldn't handle walking to class. I mean, several of them failed because they just weren't going to class. It wasn't that they weren't studying or anything like that. They didn't they didn't
They
even
just
go.
right.
And I remember I was on the verge of that too. I was stuck to my computer. I was playing. Like I said, for the first couple of months, I didn't leave my computer. I kept playing. And then after that, it was like 3 to 4 times a week, which doesn't sound like a lot, but like when you have school, what 4 days was I missing out on? And it was usually the school days. So like uh I ended up slowing down sometime around that virus mishap where that enemy
Mm.
did health damage and it kind of affected things for no infected things, but it affected things for like 3 days or 4 days, something like that. And I took that week off and I kind of took that as like I weaned myself off a little bit.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go back. Now that I'm much older and I've got different responsibilities and I'm, much more mature about it, I feel like I want to go back, but I'm really nervous because I remember what happened last time. So,
Yeah. See, when I started playing, I was actually in high school. So, I probably did a lot less homework than I should have. I graduated, but I continued to play hard even after high school. Um, my ex-wife and I, all we did was play. I mean, she
Hmm.
was big into WoW. I was big into WoW. Go to work, come home, play. And oh man, I had a good time doing it. Now, with a kid, a full-time job, it's a little less doable.
Hmm.
But I love I love the game. I love the community. I love the world.
In an
I
ideal world, we would still be doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like everybody's been saying, the lore it is very immersive. I would recommend those of you who like the lore read some of Christy Golden's books that she's done. I highly recommend the Lich King one. It was an extremely good book, but again, time consuming. I mean, who has time to sit down and read a book?
I do.
I wish I had more time.
I read a lot of Star Wars.
I guess I didn't even ask. Did you play Horde, Alliance? If you
Um,
say Alliance, we may have a problem.
what was my character? I just pulled it up like a year ago. I wish I could remember. Um, an elf, I think. Um,
There's a couple different types of elves.
well, that's what I'm trying to think of. Um,
Well, if you played vanilla, no, it would have just been Night Elf because Blood Elf didn't come in until BC.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm 99% sure I was an elf. That doesn't sound right though, and I feel like I might be confusing it with my Oblivion character. But I'm fairly certain that I was an elf. I usually try to gravitate more towards characters that can use magic. So, like, obviously, they all can, but I mean, like, in
So
mythology.
okay, okay.
So,
I assume you played a mage then.
yes.
Excuse me. Man, I want to say vanilla mage. I don't actually know. I'm not even gonna guess. I know
Yeah.
human night elf.
I'm fairly certain I was an elf. I know I wasn't a human. I don't think there's dwarves, were there?
Yes,
But what in vanilla, I mean?
I believe so. Yes,
Okay. Maybe
because
I'm
I
thinking of Dragon Age. Man, I am so many RPGs.
because the first alliance race that got added was BC, and it was Draenor or Draenei or however you want to pronounce it
For the Horde.
for the Horde. Yeah,
That's what translates for the Horde. Oh, so the other guy. Everyone says for the Horde. I'm sorry. I'm a terrible person.
yeah. I'd say, man, I've played Horde the past. I think I've played like 13 years. There was a while I think Tran, you're gonna have to correct me, but 6 months that we were over on Alliance. Uh, Back in Warlords, I believe. We took the guild over to Alliance to try it, raided over there for a while. Obviously, we all migrated back to Horde because Horde for life. Got to follow your boy Thrall.
Do you watch Viva La Dirt League?
Viva, no,
No, Viva La Dirt League. Oh man, that just
never.
reminds me of that. For the Alliance. There's so many. I wonder if anybody in chat watches Viva La Dirt League because now I feel like doing a reference that no one is gonna get.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
I love Viva La Dirt League. They do RPG. It's called Epic NPC Man, and the concept is that one of the NPCs realizes he's in a game, and then it makes fun of all the tropes of RPGs. I think that's why I like it so much. But
That's pretty funny.
it's good
Have
stuff.
you seen the Warcraft movie?
No,
Hmm. Well,
I was excited when they announced it, and then I saw the trailer, and I thought, this isn't for me.
I mean, I'll be honest, it's not awful. There was definitely some things that they could do better. You see blood elves like right at the end of the movie, and that was not very pretty to look at. But realistically, it was a pretty good movie. They did a pretty good job portraying Thrall, and yeah. I mean, you should watch it,
I mean,
man.
if honestly, if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure it's not awful. It's basically the general review of the movie. I
Yeah,
heard a lot of people say it's not bad. It's just not great. So
I'll be honest. Their cinematic trailers and stuff in the game, in my opinion, look a lot better than that movie did.
yeah. Well, the cinematic trailers are always awesome.
Well, yeah, I will say Blizzard, Activision, whoever is pulling the strings around there does a fantastic job with that. They put some money into it.
Yeah, all these RPG companies do really good trailers. I noticed that BioWare, obviously Blizzard, and then ZeniMax for ESO, the trailers look amazing. Like I wish they would make movies by the same people that do the trailers.
Yeah, I know we're talking about WoW, but Microsoft bought out ZeniMax.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. That can be a whole other episode where we talk about that. But uh, unless you have any other WoW stuff to talk about, I mean, we've gone about half an hour. I got some closing thoughts. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about.
um, no, yes,
No, you
you
sure?
made a reference to the pandas, and you said that they were like Jack Black's Kung Fu Pandas, but that's not. I don't think that's correct. I believe his panda is like the WoW. I'm pretty sure WoW pandas came out first. 99% sure. I know that they were in World of War, or not World of Warcraft. They were in Warcraft 3.
Oh, were they?
Yes. So
Haha.
he robbed them. Pretty sure.
Hmm.
Someone fact check me on that, but I'm 99% sure.
Let's trust people watching because we're not going to look. And you might be right. And that was a good expansion. Actually, I had a good time playing Mists of Pandaria. That's when I
Mhm.
first got into raid leading, and there were some pretty good raids. Uh, I mean, like I said, Siege of Orgrimmar. If you are at all interested in the character Garrosh, and when Thrall stepped down from War Chief to give to Garrosh, there's some fantastic lore in that expansion. I didn't quite like how it ended with Garrosh being the bad guy, but there were some good raids. I mean, it
Mhm.
was really fun. Kata had some good ones too.
I do remember playing Mist of I did let me think here. I know I came back for that. What was that? Was that 2008? I don't know if you know off the top of your head, but
I mean, I can look it up real quick, but no, I want to say it was after that.
okay. I did come back for that and I did not get through it.
No, that was 2012.
2012. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I came back for that because I was really excited that they were making not only they're bringing back an old species, but then making them the focal point of an expansion. So I was like, that's really cool.
They
So
were
I got
definitely the
back into
focal
it
point.
for yeah. So I got back into it for a minute and then didn't. I was like, I need to stop.
Yeah. Man, I put a lot of time into Mist. They were kind of a cheesy race that ended up being lore wise a lot better than I expected them to be. I mean,
Mhm.
you, your starting area playing as Pandaria, it seemed a little bit focused for children, but the overall arc of Miss Pandaria was a lot better than I nearly expected it to be.
Mhm. Yeah,
Uh,
I liked it, and I do feel like Kung Fu Panda really brought down the vibe of that. But because I know when it came out, even a lot of my friends were like, "Oh my god, this is so stupid! They're doing that movie," and I'm like, "No, these were out in 2004, 2003 for Warcraft 3." So
oh yeah, yeah. There's been some good expansions over the years. There's a lot of good lore in there, and it'll be interesting to see where they go with Shadowlands because I
mhm.
mean every expansion you hear the rumor, oh this is the last one. This is the last one. After that they're done.
Yeah,
This is the last one. Oh there's WoW
that's why I'm
killers
surprised
coming.
when you said there's a new one coming out, and I'm like, "Wait, what?" Because I was pretty sure they're not supposed to be, but okay.
It was actually supposed to be out last month, and they pushed it back till November 23rd.
Mm.
I don't know the reasonings. I didn't look it up, but we'll,
I'm sure the
we'll see.
pandemic had something to do with it.
Uh, I'm sure it does. I mean, unfortunately, what can you do? I just know that they squish the levels, and I don't like it. Damn it. Uh, that being said, we'll probably. Gail, you like my shirt? We'll probably cut it soon. But I know next week we'll be getting with Tran. I know we mentioned this at the top of the episode, but we'll be getting with Tran next week. He'll be joining us here. We're going to be talking about the start of the guild, the history, when Tran Tech took over, when I joined, became second in command. The breaks that we've had here and there, and what Tran's plan is for the future. I know we may also do an episode on Elder Scrolls Online and Star Wars: The Old Republic, because for those that don't know, we are expanding onto those two games. So it'd be kind of fun to touch on the lore of those two games
and those I
what,
do play, so I can actually contribute to those conversations.
yeah, what our experiences are with those. I've played ESO a decent amount, not so much Star Wars, but um, so next week we'll be doing the episode with Train at the same time. I also wanted to throw out uh, this is a 7-year-old T-shirt, so don't mind the quality of it, but it's got the guild name. Can barely see it with this camera. The horde symbol, some symbols on the back. If anybody's interested in a T-shirt, get at Orlaith on Discord or Jackie Flanagan on the Facebook group. She makes wonderful shirts. She's been making a lot for the guildies, and I think the Guildie of the Month winner. So if anybody is interested, get at her. Check out the Facebook page. If you're not in the Discord, the link should be on the Twitch channel. And then also look up the Nerd Outbreak Facebook page. Tim and I, mainly Tim, represents Nerd Outbreak. We'll be posting this on there as well. And we will probably be doing a lot more videos. I'd like to do a lot more videos just about the gaming industry and different games in the Nerd Outbreak. I will probably also post on Discord and the Last Dynasty Facebook page as well. Um, Anything else, Tim? AKA Tim?
No, but I am just now seeing how bland my background is. So I'm sorry if that was an eyesore to anybody, but
that green screen
yeah,
will come in handy eventually.
It's actually a green wall.
Oh, is it painted?
Yep.
Well, I just got some windows. So that's not much better. All right. That being said, I'm going to play the opening as the outro because I don't have an outro. Everyone have a good time. If you're playing WoW, have fun. And Azeroth, if you're playing something else, just have fun.
Yeah.
See ya.